G'day guys, what's going on? My name's Chooka Parker. I'm an Australia's Got Talent finalist and a piano virtuoso.
Unbelievable!
I've toured the globe, won awards and all that good stuff.
Since I was about 14, I've always wanted to come to the Opera House and play, since I've been watching Mozart and them, and you've managed to get me into alternative, live, video and instrumental, so I just can't say enough thanks. Cheers.
I never needed theory to play the way I do, and neither do you. Over the past couple of years, I've learnt advanced music theory, and I've realised that all you really need to know is 7 numbers, and I can teach you how to play the piano. I've designed an online piano teaching course to take you right through from not knowing anything about music or the piano at all to an expert level of playing and improvising. And I'm so excited about this improvisation course that I've created. I'm giving you the first lesson for free. So if you like what you see and you can understand what I'm trying to teach you and you want more, hit me up or email me at chookaparkertv@gmail.com and we can set it up. You'll get a 1-hour lesson with me every single week and one of these videos to follow along with. In this series, I'm going to take you through what you need to know to combine left-hand chords with right-hand melodies, sitting down and improvising whatever you feel like on the piano, the musical language, expression, feel, touch, everything you need to know from beginner all the way through to advanced. I'm giving away all of my secrets, so I hope you enjoy the series and let's get straight into the first lesson. Cheers. As I promised, if you can count to 7, you can play the piano. That's because there are only 7 notes, and after that, everything just repeats itself. Let me demonstrate here. So we'll start on C. C is the first number of the scale, so we'll call that number 1. We'll move on to D, which will be number 2. E is going to be number 3, F will be number 4, G will be number 5, A will be number 6, and B will be number 7. After that, we get to C again. So what do? Well, the cycle simply repeats itself. We start again. Number 1 on C, number 2 on D, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. We repeat this right across the entire keyboard. To make it easy for ourselves, we're going to write down all of the note names. So seeing as we're in the key of C, that means that the first note of the scale is going to be C. Second note of the scale is going to be D. Third note is going to be E. The fourth note is going to be F, going up in alphabetical order. Fifth note is going to be G, and then it stops at G and it goes to A. And then B, and then we repeat the cycle. C, D, E, F, blah 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 blah, etc., etc., until we finish. So as you can see, I've numbered all the different notes on the C major scale into what's called scale degrees. That's because numbers are really all you need to know for now. The note names are important as well, but learning the numbers is most of it, and it gives you a massive advantage when learning other scales. So the first note of the scale determines which key we're in. So if we go to the first scale degree, or number 1, we can see that that's C, which means that we're in the key of C. So let's go through all of the notes in the key of C. So C is going to be number 1. D is going to be number 2. E is number 3. F is number 4. G is going to be number 5. A is number 6. And B is number 7. Then after this, it just repeats itself. C being 1, D, E, F, G, blah 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 blah. It goes on. Now you might be thinking, yo Chooka, what about all these black notes everywhere? Aren't there 12 notes? Well, there are actually still only 7, but we'll get into that in future videos. Alright, now we're going to learn a chord. So the most useful and basic chord that there is called a root note chord. This means that the first note of the chord determines the key that it's in. So let's say we're playing a chord in C. We'd put the first finger on C. Then what we're going to do is we're going to skip the second note and play the third note here. We're going to skip the fourth one and play the fifth one. So we're playing the first note of the scale, the third note of the scale, and the fifth note of the scale. And there we have the chord of C. Alright, great. Now let's say I wanted you to play a chord starting on A. First we're going to find A, which is the 6th scale degree note of C major. We'll play A. That'll be the first note of the chord. We'll skip the second note and play C. That'll be the third note of the chord. Skip the fourth and play the fifth note of the chord, and then we have the same pattern 1, 3, 5, which is going to be A minor or the 6th chord. Let's play the 4th chord or F major. Using the same 1, 3, 5 pattern, we'll start on F. That'll be the first note of the chord. So we'll play F as number 1, move up till we get to number 3 of the chord, which is going to be A, and then we're going to count up until we get to the 5th note of the chord, which is going to be C. Then we have F major. Now we can use that same pattern to play any chord all across the keyboard. And that's just the magic of numbers. Once you learn that 1, 3, 5 pattern, you can play any basic chord all across the keyboard and you don't need to change your finger position. So let's try it from G. We'll put our first finger on G, we'll skip the second note and play the third note, B, we'll skip the fourth note and play the fifth note, D. G major. It's that bloody simple. To recap, we've played chord 1, we've played chord 6, we've played chord 4, and we've played chord 5. Right, let's try that again. We've played chord 1, we've played chord 6, we've played chord 4, and we've played chord 5. See how that works? Okay, so these are all of the numbers or scale degrees of the C major scale. So let's say you wanted to find chord 4. Well, it's pretty simple. Just count up until you get to number 4 and play the 1, 3, 5 pattern. There you have the chord. Let's say you wanted to play chord 6. Well, find scale degree 6 and apply the 1, 3, 5 pattern. This makes it really easy for you to know what to do if I ask you to play a chord. Let's say I wanted you to play 1, 6, 4, and 5. First we're going to play chord number 1. With the 1, 3, 5 pattern that we've got, we're going to keep our fingers in the same position and slide them down to 6. Okay, so we don't need to change our finger position, just slide it on down to 4 and we're going to play chord 4. After this, we're just going to slide it up to 5. Easy. Alright, we'll repeat this. Chord 1, chord 6, chord 4, and chord 5. Beautiful. Simple. So like I said, now that we know that a chord is made up of the first note of the scale, the third note of the scale, and the fifth note of the scale, we can find a chord across any of the white keys. Right, awesome. Now we're going to play what's called a chord progression. So we're going to play the chord progression of 1, 6, 4, 5, what we just did, starting on 1, moving down to 6, moving on down to 4, and then 5. Just repeat that a few times. Awesome. Now that we've played the chords, now I've got to keep them all in time. So what I'm going to get you to do is count in your head, and I'll use my hands to keep track. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So now what I'll get you to do is pause the video and do that a couple of times until you're comfortable with the rhythm. Alright, now that you're back, we're going to add the right hand. Let's add some harmony. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle note that we're playing in the left hand in the chords, and we're going to play that middle note in the right hand, but higher on the piano. So we're going to get our right hand and we're going to place it from the numbers 6 all the way through to 3 consecutively. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, now let's get our left hand. The middle note of the first chord that we're playing, C, is going to be the number 3. So we're going to find the number 3 and play that in the right hand. Beautiful. Alright, now there's no need to move our right hand. We'll leave it just where it is. We'll move our left hand down. And before we play the chord, we're going to find the middle note of the chord, which is 1 or C. So we'll play 1 in our right hand. Alright, perfect. Now time to find chord number 4 with our left hand. Now let's identify the middle note of the chord. It's 6 or A. So let's play the number 6 or A in our right hand. Beautiful. Now we'll find chord number 5 with our left hand and we'll identify the middle note, which is 7 or B. So let's play scale degree number 7 in our right hand. Awesome. Now we're going to practice a few times with left and right hand. Take it in your own time. I know a lot of students trying to do it fast and nail it really quickly, but it's not how fast you do it, otherwise you're just going to end up sounding something like this, which is not what we want. So take your time, go at it slowly, be precise, and practice this a few times with the correct timing. Perfect. Awesome job. Practice that for at least 10 minutes and I'll see you in the next lesson. Cheers. If you did enjoy the free piano lesson and you want more, hit me up at Chooka Parker tv@gmail.com on email or leave a message in the comments and we can discuss taking it further. I have 3 different pricing options. We can either do a 45-minute lesson every week, a 1-hour lesson, or if you want the premium offer, you can take a 1-hour lesson plus get one of these videos to follow along to every single week. So I hope you enjoyed that teaser and be sure to let your friends know about it. So if you want to sit down, have fun and improvise to your heart's content until the lockdown ends, send me a message now, we'll get it set up because I'm also out of a job. Cheers.